The number one way to overcome any addiction is by mastering the art of an identity shift. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how an identity shift is the number one way for you to pivot yourself from being addicted to something to being at a state of peace. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are blessed. Hope you guys are well. I don't want to waste your time, so we're going to get straight into today's video. This video is going to be like a taster video for the main bulk of this concept of identity shift, of getting rid of addictions, getting rid of all these sorts of things in your life. But once again, no time wasting, let me get straight into today's video. So hopefully you've watched the video prior to this, which was identity over discipline over motivation, where I went through and explained why identity is a more powerful way to get yourself to do any form of positive habit over discipline and over motivation. And in today's video, I'm going to explain how shifting your identity is the number one way for you to get over any addiction. Okay, so for example, your identity is the accumulation of every single memory, every single habit, every form of data of who you are. Your identity is literally you. So when I say you shift your identity, you are technically shifting exactly who you are. You are shifting what makes up yourself. And it sounds a lot more easier said than done, but I believe every single person with the intention of undergoing an identity shift can do it. So why is this the best way for you to get over any form of addiction? It's because for you to say to yourself, that is who I was, and for you to destroy who that was person, and for you to relieve yourself of the control from that person, that is the number one way to let go of anything from the past. So if I said to you, for you to think about yourself as a child, the child version of yourself had its own identity. The child version of yourself is in the past. When you were younger, you probably picked your nose and ate your bogey. You probably pooed yourself, because I think all of us did that before. You probably had different tendencies which you probably don't have now, and most likely don't have now. Now, it's not to say that person there didn't have an identity, that person there didn't exist. It's that you grew out of it. And the term that I call that is you shifted identities. You was no longer that person, and you now become the person who you are today. Now, any form of habit that you had then is most likely gone. For example, let's say when you were younger, you had quite a sweet tooth, and where you are now, you probably don't have a sweet tooth. Or you can do a mistake, which a lot of people do, is they keep the exact same negative habits in their life through an identity shift. So as you get older, or you switch your mindset to the point where you're like, okay then, I want to become this different type of person, but you still hold on to some negative habits, they will come with you. So the way for you to get over any addiction is for you to undergo an identity shift, but also allow yourself to release any control of a negative habit. So for example, one way which I shifted my identity was when I was younger, my negative habit was imposter syndrome. I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna be the baddest guy in the block. I'm gonna be doing all the sorts of negative things. I was gonna be that type of guy. But it took for me to say to myself, what does that come with? Does that even align with the ultimate goals which I had in the future? The goals of helping men, the goals of being financially free, the goals of managing my own business. Did me being on the streets actually have anything to do with those goals? And when you crunch the numbers down and think about it, the answer is literally no. So why allow myself to keep staying inside of that mindset or staying inside of that frame of life? I said to myself, there's no point. So I underwent an identity shift. Now, how did I get rid of any addictions which I had then, such as smoking, vaping, carrying things I shouldn't have carried, doing things I shouldn't have done? It's by me saying to myself, as I go through this identity shift, I am going to change my environment. So I'm not going to no longer be around the people who cause me to do those things. So I minus the chances of peer pressure. Additionally, I change my mindset because I've also changed my environment. So by me saying to myself, okay, I'm no longer going to be in places where it reminds me of smoking, or I'm no longer going to listen to music which reminds me of depression, which causes me to do things which I shouldn't be doing, I'm going to put myself in a mindset and a state of frame where all I think is about is elevation. And that is exactly how you can get rid of any addiction. You put yourself in an environment which is completely different to the current environments which you have in your life. You put yourself in a different mindset which you can't really have right now, causing you to say to yourself, okay, that is not who I am. Additionally, identity shift will change who you are, who you see yourself. So when you say to yourself, I am fast, or let me actually link it towards an identity shift or an addiction. The reason why a lot of people smoke is because to themselves, they are smokers. They believe they are smokers. For me, I stopped eating cake. I stopped eating a lot of sweet treats. I stopped smoking. I stopped drinking because every single time I was offered, I said to them, I don't do those things. I said I don't drink. I said I don't smoke. I said I don't drink. I said I don't do those things. Let's say, for example, one time you might take one for the one times, but I said to myself every single time, that is not who I am. I'm not somebody who does those things. So what does that mean? I stopped doing those things. And that's literally all it takes. You have to say to yourself, that is not who you are. That negative habit is not a part of who you are. It has nothing to do with who you are. And whether you have to tell yourself that a million times, a billion times, however many times it takes, once you tell yourself that, and it is embedded in your identity, and your non-conscious self understands that and believes that, it is part of who you are. And obviously, as I said before, this is a taster video because it takes a lot more than that. It's having to rewire your traumas, changing your memories in terms of deleting old ones and uploading new ones. There's so many things that you have to do to properly undergo an identity shift. But as a taster for this video, think about who you want to be and make that part of your identity. Say you are that person. Say you are the type of person to do those things. Say to yourself, success is part of who you are, or whatever your goal may be, it is part of who you are and you can achieve it. And genuinely believe it and consistently tell yourself that until your non-conscious self downloads that. And once it's been downloaded, any addiction or any negative habit which is part of who you was will no longer be part of who you are. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, it is literally me speaking about the book which I've written called The Art of the Identity Shift. It is the top link inside the description. If you want to join my school community, I believe by now my free one should be up because I'm recording this November the 11th and it's probably going out December the something. Click the link in my description or see it there. But other than that, thank you for watching today's video, guys. I'll see you around.